Stomp Mythic Plus Solo. The best add-ons and tricks for Mythic Plus to make it easier. Now, Mythic Plus, if you've been in it all season, then you're probably like, I don't need this video, I'm a pro. Hey, you might find some good tips in here. But for me, I've really been focusing on raiding this entire season so far, but I'm really ready to start taking Mythic Plus more seriously, as really the only thing I can really upgrade at this point is Myth Track gear. So it's time for me to dive into Mythic Plus. Let me get some tips and tricks from the Comeback Kids.
Playing Mythic Plus in World of Warcraft sometimes can be frustrating and, quite frankly, at times just miserable. And after suffering for dozens of hours, getting frustrated and feeling like I want to break my keyboard, currently right now I'm in the top 1% of players. And after streaming my journey and getting loads of questions from you all, I thought...
Man's going for the achievement. Don't forget, there is an achievement this season for the top 1%.
I'd make a video breaking down everything that's helped me get up to this point so you can save yourself as much headache as possible. Whether it be general tips and knowledge, critical add-ons to have, how to set up things like your UI and nameplates properly, and more. So without wasting more time, let's jump into exactly how I got to the top 1%. First up, by far, one of the most important steps to improving in Mythic Plus and World of Warcraft in general is setting up your user interface or UI properly and actually being able to visually see everything clearly. So many times I see community member UI setups and it just looks like a disaster on screen.
Shit. Oh my
God. Things
God.
are all over the place.
Where's the game? What the hell is this? Why are the frames so big? This is very artsy. These kind of look cool, but Jesus, why is everything so huge on this guy's screen? How can he see anything? Oh, and he's got like a Diablo style UI down here. Jesus. What the hell? Why is this real? There's no way this is real.
And even in some rare cases, things are even too small to where you actually don't even notice them and what's even going on your screen, which is a problem. So firstly, if you guys want, you could just copy my import code from my Blizzard UI. I'll leave it down in the description below. So you can just copy, import it, go to edit mode and paste it in there. It's important to know that for me personally, I like some of my UI elements a little bit on the bigger side.
Yeah, his isn't bad. It's not too bad. I've seen way worse in terms of Mythic Plus, like a lot, but it is very big, man. He's got a pretty big UI loadout. I mean, it does take up a lot of his screen. I guess visually it makes sense for him. Maybe because I'm not hyper competitive, I'd rather be able to, make everything smaller and see a lot of the game better. I feel like this breaks my immersion so much to have this much big UI in the way.
Also change this with a simple click of a button by going to the options and settings panel, typing in scale and just adjusting the UI scale how you would like it. If you like things on the smaller side, you just simply drag it smaller and you just adjust it how you would like. If you like it bigger like me, you could do that as well. Remember, very important though, it's not simply about copying my profile and what I do. It's more like getting inspiration from me and then making it work for you to improve yourself. That's kind of the whole, point of this video. You want to use me as inspiration to get ideas from and then customize it to how you would like. With my UI, I like everything big. I like to see everything in general, like region around the viewpoint of my screen, which is my character in game. And something like this is so important because constantly in Mythic Plus, you need to check where you're standing, where your positioning is, and you don't want your eyes to do too much work and waste time going across your entire monitor to somewhere completely different. You want your eye line to be around the general...
I want to play with a giant curved display, like 50, I don't know, 100 inch. What was that Samsung Odyssey display? You remember that thing's like crazy big? And just have my UI elements on different sides while I'm streaming. Just have to look around constantly to see everything. I should do that, like these Samsung Odyssey challenge. We can call it that. Just have UI and opposite ends of the room, basically, and try to run a Mythic Plus with that.
Region of your character to see everything very quickly and cleanly. That's why it's like this on the screen. I have it highlighted here. Whether it's the boss mechanics slightly off to the left, the abilities you're tracking right here, procs, your resource bar, everything you need to see in a moment-to-moment basis.
Sam checks none of that. That's true. I'm a very instinctual player. I feel things out. Right, that's it. That's how I know when I got a death strike or when I got to do as a blood DK. I don't need to see it. I feel it like a professional athlete. That's how I run.
Very close to your eye line.
You're right, Ty.
So if you want a pretty good solid UI, like I said, you can copy and paste mine in the description below. Also, since weak auras did get removed, something I have loved using this expansion so far is the cooldown manager. Now, surprisingly, I've gotten questions on the stream asking how I got mine set up properly in the last few streams, so I thought I'd make a quick breakdown of this as well. So cooldown manager, it's perfect for tracking things like debuffs on targets, certain procs from your character to increase your damage. It can track how long your cooldowns are still available for, pretty much everything you need to know about your character, about survivability, damage, or even healing potential. This is absolutely critical, in my opinion, and there is no way I could play the game without something like this. To set it up, you just go to the options panel, go to the gameplay enhancements, and then toggle on the cooldown manager. From there, you hit advanced options, and now you're able to adjust this bad boy pretty much however you like. A personal preference, once again, I like to have all of this information relatively close to things that are important, so my eye line doesn't change drastically while I'm playing the game. So having it next to my character portrait as well as my cast bar and even my character himself is a good spot for me simply because I don't have to move my eyes much to track everything. Now, the first tab on the top is the spells tab. You can use this if you want to...
I'm actually using this in default. I have not added any cooldowns or anything like that. Might want to.
Pretty much entirely replace your UI with the cooldown manager to track specific things. I've seen it be used, very common, like for minimal UI setups. I know my brother Lance does it. So if you guys want, you could do it. Here are some examples on screen of how people do it. Personally, it's just not for me though, so typically what I like to use is the buffs tab. This is where the cooldown manager for me has pretty much replaced weak auras entirely. This makes it to where you simply just drag and drop what spells you would like to track in a normal tracked buff state, or you can drag and drop certain spells and have them be in their tracked bar state. Typically a rule of thumb I like to follow is that if it's a major cooldown...
So tracked bar gives you the bar, like the loadout, and then tracked buff puts the picture with the ticking timer on it. This is pretty... damn, I did not go in and use this. This is actually pretty useful. See, I told you guys there's good tips in here. Just the tip.
Cooldown, like a 1 or 2 minute cooldown, for example, like Avatar for Warrior, Infernal for Warlocks, Avenging Wrath for Paladins. I like to have it on the tracked bar state, but when it's just my everyday debuffs or procs or everything like that, I'll just put it in my regular track state right above my character, because this is something I constantly use and apply to increase my damage. This differentiates things a little bit easier and helps me time things up to increase my damage substantially on certain pulls. There's also a cooldown manager add-on called Better Cooldown Manager that is quite nice. It gives you a lot more customization to all of this. Personally, I don't use it, but it is an option if you want to really dive into this thing and make it a lot better. So if you're interested, check out that link below. Additionally, without a doubt, something mandatory to set up is either deadly boss mobs or just the boss warnings in the base Blizzard UI. Personally, I like to have as minimal amount of add-ons as possible, so I use the base Blizzard one, and it works very, very well. If you ever want to set this up, you just go to Options, Gameplay Enhancements, and toggle on the boss warnings. This right here is critical when you're in boss encounters to track certain mechanics and when things are about to happen. I cannot stress enough how important something like this is to understand boss abilities and timings.
Especially if you're tanking. That's why I use it, is to know when something's about to hit. Now, do I use it properly? Probably not. I miss shit sometimes. It happens.
On a base level, it lets you know when you should use defensives.
Says the guy with add-ons. The only add-on I have is Class Codex, because this way I don't have to freaking go to Wowhead to see what my biz items are. And the other one is Dialogue UI, because it just makes my quest text look cooler when the little thing opens up with your quest. That's it. Those are not real add-ons. That's just like a freaking internet UI add-in.
Use your offensive cooldowns if you have time, to crank things up before the damage and certain mechanics come out. Literally everything you need to know about fighting a boss is tracked right here in this little window. It blows my mind how many players don't have something like this set up to understand what's about to happen in a boss encounter and when. So if you clicked on this video and you don't have this set up, get this going, man, please. You can also go in there and edit it how you would like, whether you would like it in a vertical drop-down format or a bars format.
Why am I anti-add-on? Because I feel like add-ons in general are bad for the game, for the most part. I think the game needs to be playable in a state without add-ons to actually be good. I've gotten a lot of people to play World of Warcraft over the years, and the add-on shit is the biggest barrier to entry for a lot of people. I know we're just a bunch of degen WoW players. So everyone's like, hey, you download CurseForge and download these 17 add-ons and you'll be fine. I know we all see it as nothing, but for the health of the game, it's not good. And I do feel like it created really bad boss fight encounters. Like, boss fights just got ridiculously stupid because of add-ons, because Blizzard had to fight against the add-on race, and then the add-ons fight against Blizzard, and it just goes back and forth. And World of Warcraft just becomes World of add-ons at that point. Everyone's got to download 15 add-ons to do one boss fight. I felt like it got stupid after a while. So I would prefer just to have the game in a state where you can play without add-ons, which is why that's really the way I play it. Because that's what I want to see. I want to see, is this game playable without add-ons? And actually, right now, I think it pretty much is. I'm playing it without add-ons. None of my combat shit is based on add-ons. The only thing that we've had trouble with, really, is the Lura memory game. And that's because we're pugging. The truth is, if we got in Discord, we could do it without an add-on. But because we pug that shit, honestly, the memory game is a bit tough. That's a hard one. So I did put that Lura where you got to click you can click the logos as they pop up and then shout it out. I do have that because honestly, pugging it's nearly impossible until they nerf it, which I'm sure they will.
Like I do. However you'd like it, you can customize it in the edit mode. Once again, if you want a simple copy...
You are not playing without add-ons, you contradict yourself. Well, I mean, like I said, I have that class codex and the dialogue UI. Dialogue UI is just an aesthetic thing that I like, how it makes your character look like it's a third-person zoom-in when you open up a quest. I just think for the sake of the stream, it's just a cool-looking thing. That's it. If I didn't stream, honestly, I probably wouldn't have it. And then the other one is class codex. All class codex does is it just links Wowhead to your character, so you can see what your biz items are. You don't need it to play the game. That's not a gameplay moment. That's just, hey, I want to know what my biz item is. Let me go open up Wowhead. Now I don't have to do that anymore. I just open up the add-on and it's already got the Wowhead article basically in it. That's it. That has nothing to do with gameplay, though.
Paste import to all of this UI. You can check out mine in the description below to get it imported for you in a matter of seconds. And then from there, you could just change the scale of everything how you would like. Personally, you just type in the UI scale toggle in the set.
It is playable without add-ons, though. It was not. I mean, during Shadowlands, if you didn't have certain weak auras, you were not doing a boss fight. You get the fuck out. You'll wipe the raid. There were plenty of boss fights in this game that existed that if you didn't have the weak aura, you were going to be the reason the raid wiped. So, I mean, that doesn't exist anymore. I feel like boss fights are now much more intuitive in the game, built-in shit that can help you get through it. Except for Lura, which I said before, you need maybe Discord for that on Heroic. But before, no, it was not. It really wasn't. You were going to wipe the raid if you didn't have the weak aura.
Things panel. I need to stress yet again why all of this is so important. Why am I going over stuff like this? Well, your base UI and information being processed to you in a clean and understandable way is
you're just built different,
everything. I consider myself a pretty good player, but if you put me on a UI that makes no sense to me and I'm not able to see what's going on and process information, I'll look pretty average pretty quickly. Now, one of the fastest ways to improve greatly in Mythic Plus, in WoW in general, is to clean up your UI, have you able to track and process your character's information, whether it's for dealing more damage, increasing your survivability, or increasing your healing, and to be able to respond to that information properly. So step one on how to improve is clean up how you process information and how it works for you. Before we get into some other crucial tips and add-ons and stuff, I need to talk to you about something that seems obvious, but apparently most players in Mythic Plus, even at the highest level, at the level where I'm near at, do not follow, and that's getting your item level up, enchanting, and gemming. You may think I'm joking here, but I'm actually being dead serious. It blows my mind how many players are running very high level keys, like 18, 19, 20,
no enchants,
and beyond,
no sockets,
and literally don't have any of their gear enchanted, gemmed, or even have
no Chick-fil-A sauce? What the hell? They run in without enchants or sockets? What? For real? People just forgetting or something? People are placing gear so fast they forget to enchant it and socket it, maybe? I'm gonna chalk it out to that one. Maybe people are broke. That could be it too. That shit's gotten expensive. Yeah, but Mythic isn't for the average player. For Mythic, I do have a question though, Mac. I mean, when you run your raids, are you at least running with a fucking damage meter and healing meter up? I mean, are you at least running with that? Because to me, that's something that like Blizzard should not depend on an add-on to track damage output. That should have been a thing from a long time ago in the game. It's like the number one way that you understand if you're playing correctly or not. I mean, the game should have had a damage meter integrated a long time ago. The fact that to get an integrated damage meter, or to get a damage meter, you had to tell your friend how to go download an add-on. Yeah, that's like, it's just weird. It's just, that shouldn't exist in a game. It should just be in there, and if you want a different version of it, sure, you can go do that. But there should be a base version of it in the game. Now there is. I mean, details, yeah, it's kind of mandatory if you're trying to improve. Yeah, it is. It's the only way to know how you're playing. And it didn't even exist in the game. There was no version of that existed in the game before recently.
98 weapons and trinkets. I'm so serious right now. It is mind-boggling to me that players are leaving potential power on the table when they're trying to do difficult content. Just enchants and gems is a few percentage points of power, and it starts getting to the point later down the line where you're pushing as hard as you can, where every percentage of power starts to become very critical in progressing through the game and that content. Additionally, we have things like the Void Forge giving you 298 weapons and trinkets, and I'm still seeing players queue up for content and not even have this like set up ready to go. So please make it a priority. Use the Void Forge on trying to get your best in slot items or as close as you can, and then boost these items to 298 to gain power. Like, don't be that guy in the party who has way lower item level than everybody else. No enchants, no gems, no flasks, no weapon oils, no food buff, no augment rune. You want to go in there and treat it like you're trying to complete it. Treat it like it's your key rather than getting carried.
Why do I feel called out a little bit? I mean, sometimes I don't have the flask, I'll be honest. Sometimes I just go into the Mythic Plus or something like, no flask, I'll be fine.
Also, don't forget, you also have the new patch coming out in the 0.7 where we get the Omnium Folio for extra power, as well as the 298 Sporefall raid gear as well. So don't forget, that is coming up. You know what's funny is a lot of people want to start making content online, whether it be streaming, posting videos, clips, whatever, but most people never start because they think monetizing it is complicated. And honestly, it doesn't have to be. That leads me to today's sponsor, which is FanView. FanView is a platform built for creators to actually turn content into income. And what I love the most is how simple it all is. You create your content, build your audience, and FanView gives you the tools to monetize it directly. Basically, you upload your content and give your biggest supporters access to exclusive content and subscriptions from people who support what you do. The cool part is you actually don't need some massive following to start. That's probably the biggest misconception. A lot of people think you need to already have like a big following before you can monetize, but platforms like FanView make it easier to get started early and scale over time.
Blue Cub Gum. You remember NeuroGum when they used to sponsor me? Yeah, Tidewell. I think NeuroGum stopped sponsoring me when I had that whole pack like during a single stream and almost tweaked the fuck out. Because it says not to do that, and then I did it, and I think they were like, this guy's a medical liability. He might have a freaking stroke on stream, and then everyone's going to blame it on NeuroGum. And that was during Shadowlands, which is understandable. I mean, that shit was tweaking out in and of itself, so you had to be, like, cranked out on NeuroGum to play that shit. Yeah, I remember that. That was good shit. Honestly, I talked to them. I actually talked to the freaking founder at one point. He said he was going to send me shit. He never did. He probably found out this guy's fucked up. I'm not sending him anything.
If you're somebody who's been thinking about starting content, whether it's gaming clips, guide streams, or anything else, this is one of the easiest ways to understand how creator monetization actually works.
You don't even need to physically be in front of the camera to be generating money through FanView. FanView allows AI creators the same opportunities to monetize their content through the FanView Creator Academy. You'll learn the simple step-by-step process to get started, and they'll help you start with your own AI creator and showcase how you can monetize on the platform. If you want to learn more and start building your own income, check out the FanView Creator Academy with the link in the description and pinned comment. The Academy breaks down how to get started, grow, and monetize yourself. So if content creation is something you've been thinking about, it's definitely worth looking into. Huge thanks for FanView for sponsoring today's video.
I feel like now the AI creator shit is like the fake way to make money all the time now. You remember for a while, I think it was like during COVID, it became like, oh yeah, buy shit off of Temu at $1, then resell it on Amazon at $2, and then you use Amazon to ship your shit. You don't got to do anything, and you can become a millionaire overnight just doing that. And now it's like get AI to post shit for you, make viral content constantly every day, and then you become a millionaire like that. And it's just always like this get-rich-quick bullshit that's not real. And I feel like right now that's what it is. It's like use AI to make yourself a social media king. It doesn't fucking work really well, I'm telling you.
Also, going into some add-ons that can pretty much help you.
Mainly they're selling, and then they like the kicker comes at the end, right? Oh yeah, or crypto. The kicker comes at the end. Hey, you want to figure out how to get rich during the way? Buy my course. It's only $50. That's how and you're like, oh, that's what the guy's getting rich by selling his course to fucking people who don't know what the fuck's going on. That's what's going on here. Okay.
You and dial you in. One of the first ones that I think is mandatory just in general to have as information.
I don't know why I was
is
becoming
the class
Quagmire
codex. I get asked about this add-on constantly in the comment section, in the Twitch, in the live streams. And the thing is, this is basically like having an entire WoW guide website built directly into your character sheet. The second you open your character panel, it gives you pretty much everything you would normally have to tab out of the game for. We're talking stat priorities, talent
class
builds, hero
codex.
talent setups.
He's showing class codex. I'm telling you guys, this thing's great, man. This is like if you download one add-on, it's not necessary at all. You can go find all this shit on the internet, go look it up on Wowhead, but it just brings it all into the game, so you don't have to actually alt-tab anything.
Rotation guides, enchants, gems, consumables, trinket rankings, crafting priorities.
It also brings in
icy
icy veins, yes.
Dude, literally everything top to bottom.
Recently, they added a popular PvP website into this too, so there's PvP specific stuff in it now too.
And it automatically updates
Hashtag
it based on your spec and hero talents. What I really like about it is also just how clean and convenient it is. Instead of sitting here with Wowhead open on a second monitor, I just simply open my character panel and everything is right there. So if you swap from Raid to Mythic Plus or Delves or whatever the case may be, it instantly changes the recommendations and it'll update it for you.
Yeah,
the trinket section alone, honestly, is awesome too. It'll give you an actual S through D tier rankings on your trinkets and all the content you're doing. So really, really awesome stuff here. When it comes to some other add-ons, number one on the list when it comes to actually improving everything going on,
what is this?
Has to be the Platinator add-on. In my opinion,
I don't use it.
This is an absolutely mandatory add-on when it comes to processing information on enemies.
It helps, I know, but Blizzard's working to get this shit in. Every single time they update the UI, which I think the next big update is 12.1, they literally take shit directly from Platinator and add it to their in-game plates. So I'm just patiently waiting until all this shit gets put in, but I think it will be eventually.
In Mythic Plus, what this does is help highlight enemies that are very important inside of dungeons and color code them for you. For example, if you have your...
The overlap is a big issue. I agree, Mac. That fucks things up for me so bad sometimes. But it's getting better. They keep adding and updating it. I think it's going to get there eventually.
Tenant mobs that take extra time to kill, and they're very difficult mobs. I have them color-coded in blue, which I know to prioritize them while I'm cleaving on other ads. You also have the purple mobs, which are highlighted to me as casters that need to be interrupted, so on and so forth. Not only that, it also shows their debuffs on them, the crowd control, and everything else in a very clean, functional, and Blizzard-like UI manner. Additionally, the add-on is very, very easy to use and customizable to however you'd like. If you want a really good starting point, you guys can take my import code that I'll have in the link in the description below to copy, paste, and import to get you started. From there, you can go to the design tab at the top, customize the crap out of this thing to design it how you would perfectly like it, and then there are a ton of options to go through it and make it personally your own, man. I love that this add-on still feels like a Blizzard-based UI design because I don't want my game to feel like a spaceship. Like, I don't want it to feel like I'm playing a different game other than World of Warcraft, and this add-on does that perfectly for me. Additionally, when it comes...
That's why I never liked LV UI. I felt like it made it look like it wasn't even WoW. It just flattened everything out. I like my griffins on the side of my action bars. Thank you.
When it comes to pushing keys and trying to hop in on pickup groups, another add-on I found could be useful is Blizzy Party Tools. This is pretty much an all-in-one Mythic Plus sort of like utility add-on. A lot of people use this for the big feature, which is the interrupt tracker. It tracks every single player's kick cooldown and interrupt in real time. So instead of randomly praying someone can interrupt the cast, you instantly know who has their kick available and who doesn't. It'll even track fail kicks as well. So if somebody overlaps, the add-on will tell you, which is nice. It also tracks party defensives and offensive cooldowns. So if your tank pops a major defensive or somebody sends a giant damage cooldown, you can actually see what's going on. Additionally, you have the Raider IO and the pre-made group filters add-on. Both of these help sort of, help me filter out certain players, what the fuck he's filtering me out based off things like mythic boss kills, Raider IO score, how many dungeons they completed, so on and so forth. Now listen, I know it seems pretty toxic, but whenever I'm making my key, it helps me differentiate players that are a little bit more experienced and well-practiced and help me decide who I could possibly take into my key.
Hey, I like the comeback kids. They're good people. They comment. I comment on their shit all the time. They comment back. They're good people. But as a man of the people, I could never filter out the people. I never use this. No way. I must interact. I must invite. I must be part of the people. The people are my people. And yeah, this stuff I understand. Some of you guys, want to deal with the bullshit. So this works, but it's pretty damn toxic, I'm not gonna lie.
A little bit better. So if you're, solo queuing and pugging constantly like me, of course, you want the best odds possible to try to complete your key.
Damn, look at all these high-ass ratings.
Definitely helps. Now, getting just into some general tips on what helped me improve my pugging experience overall. First up, we have focus kicking caster mobs. This is something that you need to start training your brain to do almost the second you start doing dungeon content in general in World of Warcraft, because it's actually a very big deal. I'm sure there are better ways to go about focus kicking with, crazy macros and add-ons involved, but personally, I like to do it the old-fashioned way. So typically, as I'm heading into a pull with my tank, as you can see on screen here, I will check my Platinator plates and check if there are any caster mobs in the group. From there, as the tank is gathering everybody up, I will set focus a mob that needs to be kicked, and then I do this by simply going to the key binding settings and assigning a key to bind it as quickly as I, can. So I'll set them focus, and then whenever the mob is about to cast a spell, I simply have a set focus kick macro installed in my character on a key bind as well. So I can kick them whenever I need. And the purpose of this is because there are mobs out there that you're dealing damage to, like a high priority lieutenant, which is quite often, you don't want to take the time to tab target from mob to mob that's casting, attempt to kick it, and then try to tab target back to who you're prior.
This was even more important previously, Mac. There used to be a time where these spells used to go off and boom, 1 second that cast gets off. Blizzard did say, and they did this intentionally, they slowed down the casting of all these mobs by a significant margin in the post add-on world when they, blocked add-ons basically. They wanted these things to be more interruptible without requiring an add-on to call that shit out and have you target and all that stuff. So it doesn't really require any kind of hotkey add-on right now, but the hotkey add-on does help a lot, especially if you're waiting to see if anyone else does it, and then if nobody does, bam, you hit your hotkey.
Target is. You want to simply just keep your damage rolling on the lieutenant the entire time, and then simply just kick the mob with a click of a button and not have to swap off at all. So you can see in some of these clips as I do this, the kick is almost instantaneous, and my damage rotation pretty much doesn't stop the entire time. I've seen some people use add-ons and macros for this. To be completely upfront though, I'm not entirely sure the best route to do it. I just do it the old-fashioned way because I don't have to rely on any third-party situations and have something mess up, because I have had that happen before. It's as simple as I have a set focus little keybind, and then I have a set focus kick macro, and that's it. So if you guys have a better way of doing it, leave it down in the comment section below. I'll also leave my focus kick macro for you as well to lose, down in the comment section below, so you could just adjust it however you'd like as well. Something else I desperately need you all to understand as well about Mythic Plus is that survivability is everything. Most players think high-end Mythic Plus is all about dealing crazy damage and incredible healing and pulling a million mobs at once. And while of course stuff like that is important to an extent, what really makes a good player is the knowledge and understanding of what's happening in a dungeon and when. Everybody thinks what makes a great player is their parses and their healing.
He's saying a very simple thing. Know the fucking mechanics, please. For the love of God, know them, and better yet, do them. Just do the mechanics. It's almost never about DPS or healer output. Really. It's about mechanics and people just being dead.
Potential, but in fact,
I have a special, maybe an unknown thing to say right now. It's controversial, maybe. If everybody's alive at the end of the boss fight, we get the kill. I'm just saying. That's all. It's a crazy concept, but it's true. If everybody's alive when the boss dies, then that means we got the kill. Just please survive and do the mechanics.
It should be their knowledge check of the dungeon. I don't care how much damage you do. I don't care if you're the top 99.9%.
Most of the time, yes. Yeah, there are DPS checks, especially in raid, especially when we're early on, gearing out and all that. But rarely that is the reason why we wipe. The reason why we wipe is because 2, 3, or 4 DPS or 2 healers or whatever die early in a fight, and we just don't have enough to get the finishing done. That's what it is.
DPS player in the world. I wouldn't want you in my group with a 10-foot pole if it meant that you die constantly in my Mythic Plus dungeon. I wouldn't even consider you for an invite ever again if constantly you're dying to mechanics that are either straightforward and things you should know are coming. I cannot stress enough how many keys fails, not because the group lacked damage or potential healing or the amount of mobs we pulled, but because people are constantly dying to avoidable mechanics. They stand in frontals,
he's raging.
They don't use their fences properly, they don't health potion, they don't move, they panic during mechanics, and then wonder why they can eat bricks. One of the biggest differences between average players and a genuinely good Mythic Plus player is just awareness of the key and survivability awareness. Good players know when damage is about to happen. They know when to pre-wall mechanics before it's all going on. They know when to sacrifice a little bit of DPS to reposition and, you know, survive properly. They know when to health potion early. They know when a pull is about to get dangerous, and they instantly swap their mindset from, okay, let me stop damaging for 2 seconds and focus on pure survival. And trust me, surviving the pull is always more important.
It's not on the healer always to heal you through shit. Sometimes you got to save your damage mitigation abilities for the time in the fight when it's needed. But some people are just like, yeah, I'll just keep parsing. And if the healer can't heal me through it, it's the healer's fault. Oh, God.
99.9999% of the time, surviving is the most important thing to focus on.
Yes.
I would much rather have a player doing lower damage that stays alive consistently. They interrupt and they understand mechanics than some guy blasting DPS, dying every other pull because he refuses to move his character or use cooldowns properly. Every time you die in Mythic Plus, that's 15 seconds off the clock. And then you potentially have to use a battle res, and then you have to run back, and then it's just a killer.
Especially when the guy dies again after the B res.
Don't be that guy. You gotta understand the knowledge of the dungeons and understand what to do and when to do it properly. Another massive mistake players are making is it seems obvious, but holding their defensives like there's some freaking rare collectible item you're never gonna use again. Dude,
no, use them in the right times.
Defensives. Your defensives are there to make dangerous moments safer. There is absolutely no reason to die with every defensive available because you're just saving it for later, or you're just saving it for a better time. One of the biggest complaints I get from healers and from our, Mythic Plus community is that constantly people just die without using defensives at all. There is no reason you should be holding defensive cooldowns if things get a little bit stressful. Just pop it.
I can't tell you how many times we'll have I know this is about Mythic Plus, but because we raid so much on this channel, I mean, we'll just have radiating damage going out, big high damage output moment in the fight, and I watch somebody's health just go tick, 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 and then they're dead. And I'll be like, man, how'd you die? And they're like, well, I didn't get healed. I just didn't get healed during that part at all. I'm like, oh, you got any damage mitigation? I mean, you could have used, I could have used it, but I was saving it. Oh, God. And no, you don't save it. That's what you were saving it for. You're supposed to use it right there.
Help your healer out, and it'll come back up in a minute or two.
They'll die with hellstones. They'll die with
Don't forget, also, you have a health potion
that
can save your life as well. And I can't tell you how many times I've used health potions, and they've literally saved me in keys of high level. So please, unless you're a mage right now, there's really no excuse what your defensive capabilities, you should be living absolutely no problem. Don't be scared to use your defensives, and don't be scared to buy health potions and just chug them. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this video helped you out a little bit and gave you a better understanding of Mythic Plus overall, because the truth is, most players are they're way better than they think they are. They just don't process information properly yet. And I'm telling you guys right now, you'd be surprised the amount of people I encounter in Mythic Plus and solo queue at a very high level that genuinely seem like they have no idea what the hell is going on. Like, a lot of the time, people think they're failing keys because you need damage or healing or better gear, or you got to be a meta spec. When in reality, it's just the little things, man. If you master the little things, like I'm telling you, it's better. I would much rather have someone in my party that masters the basics of the game rather than somebody who's at S tier damage, but they have no idea what the hell is going on. Like, better positioning, better interrupts, cleaner UI, smarter cooldown usage, understanding pulls, and just staying alive. That's the stuff that pushes keys. I mean, I'm doing it on an Affliction Warlock, and I'm in the top 1%, and I'm continuing to push. So, trust me,
he's doing it.
I know Mythic Plus can be frustrating. I'm playing Affliction, pugging my way to the top, and if you guys want to come hang out and watch me on the journey, check us out on Twitch, where we go live, and we go also live on this YouTube channel as well. So if you guys have any questions or any other advice you want to drop in the comment section below, leave it down there. and we'll check it out. Don't forget, if you want to learn more about starting your own creator income, check out the FanView creator link in the description below. A lot of good information there to get you started and monetize your content. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content, consider subscribing or check out one of the videos you see on screen here to stay up to date on all things Warcraft. My name's Sky for the Comeback Kids. It's an absolute pleasure to make content for you all. I'll see you in the next one.
Nice video overall. Good tips and tricks for sure. A lot of this stuff's pretty on point. A lot of it, yeah, I was already hinting at. It's like, please use your defensives. Please understand the fights. Set up your UI, sure, and you can do that all within the game now. It's not even requiring add-ons anymore. And enjoy it. Have fun playing it for sure. It's I'm about to really start pushing Mythic Plus harder. So this is some good stuff to watch for sure. Nice video from the Comeback Kids.